Hey, what's up guys? It's been a few days since Menat's release, and I just want to give my thoughts on what I think about her as a character, because a lot of people are asking me that right now. Mostly her potential as a competitive character, but everything overall. If you are someone who's thinking of picking her up, maybe my opinion might help your decision. So, we now got to see her story mode, hear her theme, and see all her costumes and animations, and I think Capcom did a really good job with her design. Lots of personality, and she's quite popular already, as expected. This is pretty important if you think about it because we only have one brand new character left this season, and I suspect Season 3 will be all returning characters, so this might be the last batch in a really long time, guys, where we'll see a brand new character in the game. Might be over a year. So let's talk about Menat from a competitive perspective. You know, it's kind of funny. I see a lot of people dusting off their Street Fighter V and hopping back in just for Menat, but I think there's going to be a ton of players in for a surprise when they realize how difficult this character is to play, at least if you want to win in ranked consistently. First off, let me say that I think Menat is by far the most difficult character to learn and play in this game. This is mostly because her V-trigger dependency and how difficult that V-trigger is to use in the first place. As well as her very weak confirms, she's got poor defense, low Oki, and low damage output. She also has orb management that you have to pay attention to, where you have to be mindful where it is at all times. Her normals change because of this, her V skill loses range because of this, and she can't do her soul throw either when the orb is out of place. Where she makes up with all these shortcomings is her ceiling of potential, which we'll get into when we talk about her V-trigger. I would personally recommend Menat to a player that really likes to put in the work and wants to innovate their own personal style. Menat has the freedom for that, and she can feel very rewarding to win with, for sure. But you should also be mentally prepared to lose to other players who just simply don't need to put in as much work as you do. You have to be okay with that. Because, you know, Menat is a complex character in a game that's frankly designed from the ground up to be accessible. So let's talk about our gameplay now. Let's start off with her neutral game. It's good and it's bad, I would say. When she has the orb on her, she has good range, especially her standing light punch and standing medium punch. Actually, her standing medium punch is OP right now, since she actually gains V gauge if you land a counter hit with it, in case you guys didn't know. The game thinks that you're landing a crush counter or something, but Capcom will definitely fix that bug eventually. Her standing hard punch and crouching hard kick are both really good too, really good range, and all her hard normals are all crush counters, which I thought was actually a pretty clever idea because, you know, Capcom was thinking of ways for her to gain bonus damage from just stray hits in neutral. Now the issue is that Menat has very poor conversions. She has to be super close to convert into anything, and even if she does, she doesn't get good damage, or set anything up till you have V-trigger. So relying on stray hits to just win rounds in Street Fighter V is just not consistent with the explosive meta right now, where we have characters that can hit you once and that could be the end of the round pretty much. This is why characters like Chun-Li have really fallen down the tier list ever since Season 1. So she also has her drills to getting close to the opponent, and the orb to bring the opponent to her, but that requires management in itself. You gotta know the ranges of all her drills, and if you mess up on that, you're gonna get blown up. She also has a 3-framer, thank god. It's her standing light kick, but the range is really short. It's like Ryu's standing light punch range, and her dash is really slow as well. When your opponent is doing some unsafe stuff on you, I find with Menat your options are just really limited on punishing them compared to other characters. Now, she has a bunch of anti-air options, but even these are hit and miss with me so far. First off, your most reliable option by far is your EX Soul Throw. And I know it's not called Soul Throw, guys, but yeah. But anyways, she can't use it if the orb is out. If it's out in play, she has no access to her jumping air grab. So this really leaves you out in the open. It makes you rely on her normals, which without the orb have really bad range. And if you get knocked down and the orb is really far away from you, you're screwed. Her crouching hard punch is her next best option, but once again, if the orb is out, then her crouching hard punch isn't as good. Her down V skill as an anti-air gets beat out by a ton of characters as well, unfortunately, so you really gotta be on your toes and position correctly if you want to use it. You also don't have a reversal to save you, and her V reversal is pretty bad, honestly. It can be easily punished even if your opponent is not even looking for it and paying attention. It just has a ton of recovery. I think the reason why Capcom made her V reversal be one of those V reversals that switch to the other side is just so she can retrieve the orb easier. So you can't make a mistake with Menat, basically, especially if the orb is out, because like I said, it's lights out if that's the case, because it takes so long for the orb to travel back. You gotta leave yourself open in the first place to spin and retrieve the orb. So it's just such an important thing that when you're using this orb like it's intended to, you're also putting yourself at risk defensively. I've made some comparisons to Menat to Dalsum in the sense that, you know, they both have these long-range normals, but the difference is, in that sense, is that Menat doesn't have a teleport to reposition herself instantly, or, you know, maneuver in the air and keep the opponent out that way. On top of that, you know, Dalsum always has his long-range lens, whereas Menat, like I said, if the orb is out, her range on her normals aren't as long. So it's definitely different from Dalsum, but their game plan is kind of similar. So overall, the game plan, I would say, is that Menat tries to keep her opponent out for as long as she can and annoy them with her long-range normals and orb tosses till she gets her V trigger, which she then gets to go on the offensive. So let's talk about her V trigger right now. It's something, it's not something you can just activate and have this clear, straightforward use like some other characters do. You have to know your setups, you gotta know your combos, angles ahead of time just to use this properly at an average level. It's definitely like an evolving V trigger that players will continue to perfect every single day. You know, I recently ranked up Abigail, you know, during the stream when he was first released. We used a different account for him. We ranked up from rookie all the way to diamond rank, and honestly, it went pretty smooth. It wasn't that tough. Abigail, you know, it's a character I'm used to. I like the grappling characters in Street Fighter V, you know, playing Alex and stuff, and I was just able to keep up and learn stuff with him without taking any breaks as the opponents started getting better as we ranked up. There was really like no roadblock or anything where I'm like, I need to learn this in order to go forward with the character. Everything was pretty straightforward. But with Menat, who we started a fresh account with, so once again we're going from rookie, I was already starting to struggle with wins even in the silver ranks. Usually I can get away with winning based solely on my defense alone, but with Menat, not knowing anything with her V trigger at the time really made matches difficult. And one of the reasons for that is just that my damage output was just so low because of her conversions, right? I was seeing a lot of, you know, unsafe things done by like opponents at that rank where they're just doing wild, unsafe moves, and I punish them, but I just can't punish them hard enough. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of time where I'll get blown up because, you know, it's funny because in the lower ranks people don't really have fundamentals, but they sure know how to do their combos. So yeah. I had to take a break and really put in the time to learn a decent V-trigger combo with her, and that helped me get to gold, and now I'm expanding on it and learning you know, my resets now mid-combo, because if you guys didn't see any of my ranked matches already, you can see there's a ton of scaling if you just use every orb in a single combo. That's definitely not what you want to do. So Menat's V-trigger was definitely not intended to just be this flashy custom combo tool. It's supposed to give you absolute control no matter what the situation is, whether it's landing a hit on the opponent and then you can reset them, or if your opponent is blocking, you can also just reset them, or if you're just in neutral because the orbs change in different angles, they can make them go really slow in the air, or you can make them go upwards. It can also make your normal safe. You can make it so she can just slide into the opponent for free. It can create Oki, where if she knocks down the opponent, you can throw out an orb and keep them locked in place as they're getting up. It even has like this insane fuzzy guard setups that there's already some great stuff discovered in the first week. So is Menat strong or a weak character? Obviously it's too early to tell, but I think she's not low tier. I do think that there's a ton of potential with her. Even though she does rely on her V trigger a little too much, it does build really fast and easily thanks to her V skill on crush counters, and it's only 2 bars. So my only quirks with her right now, like as a design, is I just don't like how she has to rely on her V trigger for a lot of things. I don't like characters that are just all about their V trigger, and I also don't like the idea that she can't do her soul throw when her orb is out, which really annoys me because, you know, naturally when the orb is behind the opponent, they want to jump after you, like they just want to get out of there, and it's annoying that I can't stop them half the time. And her terrible light conversions, because when the opponent is doing dumb stuff, I personally like to punish them hard for it. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be sharing all the information that I learned with her, and you know, I do enjoy playing her right now because she's just so different from what I'm used to, and it's just nice to like challenge myself with such a different character. And I'll be making a V-Trigger guide soon too, guys, so don't worry about that. I'll be going through that step by step and making sure you guys can do it no matter, you know, what skill level you guys are. So let me know what you guys think of Menat so far. Do you think she has potential as a character? Don't forget to like the video and be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys, and I'll keep you posted on more fighting game news in the future. So thanks for listening, guys. Take care.